Welcome to the M Factor Live, yoga teachings for uncertain times. I welcome you today on another day where life is not the same like it used to be. It's very challenging for all of us, and I have been thinking about how I can serve our community best, and the best thing I can do is teach. And so I would like to invite you to share an hour of yoga with me each day at 12 o'clock. I would be very happy to see you here practicing with me and helping to create a little bit of an island where we can retreat, maybe hit the pause button on all the energy that surrounds us right now here during these really, really challenging times. I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Emme. For everybody who doesn't know me, I have been teaching yoga for, I think, the past 27 years, and I live and breathe yoga. It is my life, I think always has been, and I've been very fortunate to share this passion and the energy and the joy and the life that yoga represents for me with many of my students throughout the years, and I hope to see some of you in these classes. So the classes, everybody who knows me knows that I am not the biggest fan of just teaching random yoga classes, but I think it is very appropriate right now to invite everybody to experience yoga. I have chosen the live streaming technology here, the platform of teaching live and not being here alone and recording this for you, because I believe in my heart that my teachings are informed by the present moment and the energy that surrounds us. And anybody who knows this, who has ever been in my class, knows that I plan very little. For me, it is very important that my teaching have an intention. And so today's intention, the intention of these live streams, is to invite everybody. You are welcome to practice this, and my wish is that you're not just sitting and watching, but that you will join me in the physical practice. And these are not going to be funky, advanced yoga poses. It's not going to be a power flow, at least not in the beginning. I will teach a fundamental yoga class with fundamental movements that have the power to change the way you feel, to change the way how your mind interacts with your body and your spirit. And so please be aware of everybody who's a little bit more advanced that this is a fundamentals class, and my intention is to teach to people who maybe have not been exposed to yoga for a long time, who haven't learned, who haven't studied. And I hope that I can give you a glimpse over the next few weeks of what yoga is for me, for my students. And I would be very happy to read your comments. Please know that I won't be able to interact directly in the chat. I have it here in front of me. I hopefully be able to read if somebody writes something, but I will be teaching and I won't be able to communicate through the chat with you. Since this is a live stream, we might do this after class. All right, so let's take a deep breath in. I would like to make a few remarks to the seat. Every yoga class starts in a seated position. And as you see me right now, I am sitting in a cross-legged position. I will tell you that sitting on the ground, in my experience, is very difficult for most people. And there are a few people who very easily just sit on the ground and they're very comfortable sitting. If this is you, please pick the cross-legged position. If you have any discomfort in sitting, if it is difficult to sit upright and still be able to somewhat be relaxed, I would love to invite you to take a chair. I have a chair here to demonstrate this for you. So rather than sitting on the mat and being in a subpar position of discomfort, I would love for you to sit on the chair. Please have the freedom, yeah? I teach this in all my yoga classes. I believe that especially in the beginning, it is very important that the intention of the seat is to be able to calm your mind, to focus on your breath, to do specific exercises that require us to be comfortable. And comfortable in a way, not where we are completely relaxed like on the couch, but where we can sit upright without too much effort. And I'm here to tell you that you will learn this over time. This will get better and better and better. The stronger your back gets, the more opening you have in your hip to sit in that position. It will get better over time, I promise you this. For me, this was a horrible position in the beginning, and I really didn't like it. And I always sat in agony and had to breathe through this time. I don't want that for you. So please sit on a chair, yeah? Make sure that you are sitting on the front edge of your chair. So not in the back, right? In the front edge of your chair. Have your feet almost a little bit wider than hips width apart, and see if you can tilt your hip upright so that from this tilt of the hip bone, this is called the pelvis, the pelvic bone, the pelvis tilts forward so that you can grow your spine from there. Even this is going to be difficult for some of you, but it's going to be so much easier than sitting on the ground, yeah? Please feel free to use a chair from now on in all my classes. I will not repeat this every time. Okay, so let's come into our seat. Whichever seated position you are choosing. I have a blanket below my sit bones to be able to sit a little bit more upright. Let the legs relax to a place wherever they fall. And remember, no cross-legged position if this is not completely relaxing in a way where you can sit here for a moment and focus on something else than the body that is giving you signs of pain or discomfort. All right. Please let your hands rest on your thighs. If your arms are longer, you can extend your arms more forward. I would suggest that the elbows are sinking, allowing to hang to the side of your waist. So this means that the arms, the hands are going to fall wherever the length of your hand is, yeah? So it's not about where the arms are in the front. Today, just release your hands onto your thighs and feel your thighs for just a moment. Take the palms and allow them to feel your thighs. You can immediately connect with the energy within you. Keep your eyes open for one more moment. And I would love for all of us to sit as tall and long as we possibly can. Draw the chin slightly in. I'm going to turn to the side so that you can see it if you're watching. So I'm erecting the spine from the pelvic bowl and I'm lifting my sternum. So this part here in the front is my sternum, and I will refer to this a lot in my classes, so make sure you know where this is, right up here. Draw the chin slightly in. Most of us have a little bit of a tendency to have the neck forward, the chicken head, right? The tech neck. So we're working against that in our practice by elongating the neck. And the best way to do that is to take the back of the crown of the head. So if you touch your skull in the back and you go about 2 fingers upward, that's the back of the crown of the head. And I want you to think that this back of the crown of the head reaches up. up to the sky as if there is a string that pulls you up. That's our aligned seated position. Please know that this is going to take some time to be able to sit in this position with this type of alignment. So be okay with the fact that all of this is a work in progress that we constantly are working on. Yeah? Good. All right, when you have this position, close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. And we will be in and exhaling, in through the nose and out through the lips. I want you to allow the exhalation to just breathe and almost with a sigh, exhale out. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the lips. I want you to feel your breath for just a moment. The breath might be relatively short. I don't want you to squeeze it or to breathe extremely deep. Imagine that you're only connecting to what is in this moment in time. And our breath is a beautiful perimeter of noticing how we feel on the inside. So when you feel your breath right now, while you're doing this, you might feel that the longer we breathe, the calmer we get. And when you feel like the exhalation has started to become a little calmer, only breathe through the nostrils, if that's available. If you have a stuffed up nose, like always, breathe through your lips. Instead of bringing the breath immediately into a specific form, I invite you to just notice your inhale and your exhalation. Most of us have the tendency to immediately guide the breath, to control it, to breathe really deeply in and really deeply out. We will be coming to this in a moment, but I would love for you to just notice your breath without you controlling anything. This is called breath awareness. And it's a really important tool for us in our meditative time. And it's a lot harder than it looks like, because I bet you, if you really notice, you are already starting to guide your breath. So make an effort to allow the inhale and exhale to flow just by itself, and you just follow the in and exhalation. Notice what happens when we become still. For some of you, this will create a really strange feeling in the body, and you will immediately become antsy. And the moment we become still, our mind becomes really, really loud. If you are experiencing this, please know that this is completely normal. We all share this. And so, what do? We allow to be with this antsiness. We allow to be with the energy that arises, and we observe. So can you just for a moment, even if I don't talk, be quiet and just observe what is going on within you? This is a beautiful exercise, and it's part of our meditative practice. If you find this difficult, do not worry. Again, we can train ourselves. This will take a little bit of time to be okay with sitting what is in this moment in time. And that is exactly what we need most in these days where uncertainty surrounds us, where we really don't know what will be going on tomorrow, where we can practice one thing only, to be in the present moment. And that's exactly what this is. When we sit down quietly, we observe our breath, and we are with what is in any moment in time. This is a tool that I want to give you, and I urge you to practice that several times during the day. You might not even want to call it meditation. You might only want to do it a few minutes. But this is a wonderful start. And I know that even if you think right now, well, I don't know if that's going to help me lower my anxiety. I promise you, it has a direct effect on our nervous system and a direct effect on our well-being. Yeah? We will be doing this more and more along we go in these next days and weeks. So softly open your eyes. And if you have been sitting in cross-legged position, please switch the legs to the opposite leg and to the front. If you have sat on your chair, please come to the ground. I would love for everyone who has sat on the chair to just open the legs and have the feet on the ground. Yes, put your arms into the back. And we start by tilting our pelvis. I'm going to show it from the side. You can see it a little better. So everyone who sits in this position, tilt and rock the pelvis forth and back. If we are sitting in cross-legged, it's going to look like this. We are tilting our pelvis forth and back and create a movement all the way into the entire spine. So the movement starts in the hip. We're tilting back. This is called a posterior pelvic tilt. Tilt your pelvis back. See if you can lift your pubic bone up and draw the navel in as tight as you can. And then we do the opposite. Tilt the hip forward. This is called anterior pelvic tilt. And we allow the spine to arch all the way to the chest and the neck. Now do me a favor and don't worry too much about the head. It's really not per se about the neck. I would love for you to open the chest area, and this is not easy. So if you have your arms there, extend them and see if you can lengthen. Lift your gaze lightly and stretch out the chest, the rib cage, our sternum, and release. Let's do this a few more times, back and forth. And you might feel immediately an activation in your core muscles in the front of your core and in the core muscles of the back, which are our back muscles. Back and forth. Good. And slowly from here, we bend sideways, side to side. We're starting on the left side today. Every time we're starting on a certain side, it's left. So however you see me, I will be your mirror. So I will be going to my right side, which should be your left side. Good. Wonderful. Side to side. Now, this movement is a movement in our waist, which means the rest of the spine, the rest of the upper body is elongating. Our goal is not to go as deep as possible. Forget about this. This is going to come with practice. Imagine that the movement is an elongation of the spine while we're bending. So if you can lengthen a little bit more, that would be better than thinking that we need to go down as much as we can, because then the body is going to come up with a lot of modifications that is not in alignment with this exercise wants. It is a side bend in our spine. And I'm keeping my elongated extension in the spine all the way while I bend in my waist area. Beautiful. And then slowly we are going to twist from neutral position to the left side first and to the right side. So do me a favor and actually take your hands to the back behind your skull, interlace your fingers and place them behind your skull, and then slowly start to twist. So this is called an active rotation, which means you can only rotate as far as your torso allows you. Please do not move the arms. Yeah, and I know you're thinking you're not doing this, but I want to urge you to try even more, to open up and spread the elbows out to the side as far as you can, and then slowly twist without moving the elbow position at all. Wonderful. So now from here we turn to the left and we extend our arms, right arm to the front, to the outside of the right knee, left arm to the back. And now just for a moment, see if you can use your arms just a tiny bit to draw yourself a little bit into a further twist. Wonderful. And we're going to hold this position and breathe. With our inhalation, we lengthen the spine. With our exhalation, we twist. Inhale, maybe back up a little bit. I'm going to exaggerate this a little bit. And exhale. Turn your head as well. Inhale and exhale. See if you can lengthen. Remember the back of the crown of the head as high as you can while the chin draws in and the head turns. Beautiful. And slowly back to center. One more time. Hands interlace into the back of our skull, maybe the lower part of the skull. Open the elbows as wide as you can. And we are going to the right side first and to the left. Let's do this a few more times. I want you to feel, where is this action coming from? Where do you feel it in this movement? So in yoga teachings, in movement teaching, we want to teach you to feel it in a certain area of the body. But it might be that in the beginning, you will not feel it there. And that's absolutely normal and totally okay. However, our goal is to reach certain areas of the body. So we're twisting to the right. We're extending the left arm to the front, the right arm to the back. Allow your fingertips to touch the ground. Let me show you from this side so that you can see it. In this case, I'm going to turn around. Yes. And then very slowly, imagine, again, first and foremost, we're sitting upright. Don't worry how far you go. Do not worry about this, yeah? I have a feeling in yoga teachings, especially when we practice asanas, we focus a lot on going deeper, on making it look a certain way. What I want you to feel is extension in the spine, and that extension means to sit as upright as you can. And then with each breath, we are allowing the movement to draw us a little bit deeper. Inhale, we back off, lengthen the spine, exhale, and twist. You will have your own rhythm, yeah? Please do not think that you have to stay exactly in my breathing rhythm. You don't. Our rhythm is going to be very, very unique, and the flow of your breath determines the rhythm and the speed of your movement. One more last time. Twist and release back to center. Wonderful. From here, Interlace our hands, stretch the arms forward, extend all the way up and reach up overhead. Just for a moment, see if you can bring the upper arms alongside your ears or maybe behind your ears as good as you can, and then slowly open back up. Let's do this one more time and see if we can take our breath to help the movement. Inhale, exhale and stretch forward. Let the palms extend wide away from your chest. Inhale, reach up overhead. Create a beautiful long line above your head and slowly lower the arms back down. Let's do this one more last time. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Again, interlace your hands, extend forward, lengthen. Lift up with your inhale overhead. See if you can sink your sit bones down to the ground even more and slowly open up the arms. Beautiful. All right. Let's come onto all fours, please. If you have sat on a blanket, put it to the side of your mat. I have a mat here. I have 2 blocks. If you don't have blocks, don't worry about it. If you have them, please get them. Please don't go out and buy blocks right now. We will survive without them if you don't have them at home. If you have them, have always 2 blocks ready. And I like to have a knee pad. You can use your blanket for that, but I always have a little knee pad that I could use just in case. I'm a little bit bony and it helps for my knees to be padded. Some of you are not sensitive, some of you are, so I always would like to urge you to use it if you need it. Yeah? Okay, let's come onto all fours and take a moment. So, fingers spread out wide. Whenever you are on your hands in yoga, this is really important. The fingers need to be spread out wide so that we have an equal distribution of weight on our hands. Now from here, see if you can, and look at yourself, if you can have your hip bone align with the knee. So that is one vertical line in our legs. And see if you can extend the arms a tiny little bit more forward and then create a circular motion. The hands are shoulder width or maybe a little bit wider apart from each other. And we are moving in a circular motion over our wrists and knees. Pick one circle and slowly lengthen it. Maybe imagine that the circle is becoming a little bit wider. And then other side. Slowly come to the other side. Circular motion over your wrists, hips, and knees. The toes and the feet are extended in one beautiful long line, so stretch out your ankles already here as well. Last time, and from here, we're going into child's pose. This position is called child's pose. Extend your arms all the way actively forward and let your forehead, your chest, your rib cage sink down. We lift our gaze and slide a bit forward, about 1 hand length. I am sliding forward and I am allowing to come into a deeper back stretch. This will be a beautiful stretch all the way in the upper part of your shoulder blade area, the side body below your armpit, and the upper back. Yeah? This is called puppy dog, and it's really a preparation for downward facing dog already, really important part. And then slowly we lift our gaze, open the arms as wide as your mat is wide, bend the elbows and already arch your back. So allow the spine to come into a back bend already. And then imagine you have a marble that you're rolling with your chin or nose all the way to the ground. Bring the hands to the side of your chest and squeeze the elbows all the way together. That's all I want you to do. Curl the toes under in the back and hold this position. So what I want you to feel is the real connection of the back side of the body. So squeeze your shoulder blades together. Don't lift up yet. Don't push. Just hands to the side of your chest, maybe a little bit lower in a 90-degree angle. Elbows to the side of your waist. We are hovering over the ground and activating our back. And then slowly from here, extend your toes, lift up into child's pose. And let's do this again. Rolling cobra. Puppy dog first. Exhale. Inhale, lift your gaze. Open the arms a bit wider and slowly roll one vertebra at a time, very slowly, with the power of your arms holding you into a position where we are activating the whole back. I would love your glutes to be really, really activated. I want you to think if you can tilt your pelvis back, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then only lift your gaze. That is already a form of cobra. Deep breath, exhale, release, and push up into our last rolling cobra. From child's pose, inhale. Slide forward into or through puppy dog. Roll the marble onto the belly. Curl the toes under. Engage the whole back part of your body. You are still laying on your rib cage, but I want you to see if you can now lift up a little bit further and squeeze the shoulder blades away from your ears, downward towards the tailbone and back. And slowly release into child's pose. Beautiful. Let's come into a resting child. Let your forehead come onto the ground, your arms alongside your body. If this is a little bit difficult because your belly is in the way or your chest, please know that this version of child's pose, relaxed, of passive child's pose, is wonderful, where you place your forehead onto your arms. This is a marvelous resting position. Whenever you need a little bit of rest in between, this is a good place to get to, yeah? So let's take a couple of more breaths. Shift your hips slightly from side to side. And we're slowly rolling up one vertebra at a time into a seat. Good. And from here, let's come onto our feet. So let's everybody take a blanket. And I would love for us to bring our heels onto the blanket in a about shoulder width position to come into a squat. Yeah, so I'm going to show it sideways so you can see it, and then I will turn around. Okay, now just for everyone, I know some of you are able to be in the full squat without the blanket. If you are, please put the blanket away. But I would love to have this for everybody for just a moment, because I think a lot of us are not just right off the bat capable in sitting in this position. So now we are slightly opening up the knees. And you can do this either with your elbows. Place your palms together into a position that is called Anjali Mudra, prayer position. So now the toes are not turned outward a lot. So please make an effort. And for some of us, it's not going to be very easy, but we'll try. Keep the feet as parallel, square forward as possible. Good. And then very slowly from here, we're standing up into a standing position. Reach your palms overhead. lengthen. So without going immediately into a back bend from your back, I want you to reach your chest forward, upward, and imagine that your sternum goes as high as possible to the sky. And then slowly from here, open the arms over the side, and we're going back into our squat. Good, deep breath. Find this position one more time. And again, circle the palms over the side. Inhale, lift. Gaze upward, reach. This is a beautiful front body stretch. And slowly come back down into Malasana, squatting position. Good. If this is easy for you with the blanket, please do it without the blanket and come into a full Malasana position. And again, inhale, lift up, reach up overhead, reach your chest forward, upward, and imagine that the arms go behind your ears as good as we can, yeah? Make an effort to not go back, people. This is not going backwards behind us. This is lengthening forward, upward. And last time into our squatting position. Deep breath. Wonderful. And from here, we are folding forward. So slowly extend your legs. Keep the feet wide right now. You see how my feet are almost wider than my shoulders are. Toes are parallel to the front of the mat. The inner and outer edges of the feet are parallel. So in this position, bend your knees. That's the first and foremost thing that we need to learn when we're folding forward in yoga. So bend the knees and imagine that the sit bones, which are right here in the back of our legs, lifting up. So with the knees bent, make an effort to lift the sit bones up. My knees are still bent. Yeah, you can see this. Okay. Now, some of us are going to wonderfully knead our blocks, and this is wonderful. I know many of you believe that the blocks are something that symbolizes weakness or we can't do something. Please don't think that. This is super important. It's a wonderful, wonderful way to help your postures. Yeah, embrace the blocks. Embrace all accessories that we will be practicing with, because they will make you much, much better than the people who don't like to use them and stay in positions that are not really conducive to growing into better training. Yeah, so knees are bent, we're forward folding. All right, now from here, see if you can, wherever the blocks are, some of you will have your fingertips on the ground, that's wonderful. See if we can extend a little bit the knees and bend a little bit more. Extend and bend. If you are not all the way on the ground, I want you to do it like this. Just put your elbows onto your knees and see if you can reach the sit bones up and bend again. If you look at my back, you can see that I'm really making an effort to keep my back long. The opposite is this, yeah? So don't think that this is about going to the floor. Again, if you tell your body, all I want to do is to go down to the floor, it is going to do it somehow the best way the body knows how. And that's not what we want. What we want is to bend the knees, to stick the sitting bones and the sacrum all the way up high. This will elongate and tilt our hips and in effect lengthen your spine. And from here, I want to extend the knees a bit and bend. And extend and bend. Wonderful. One more time. Extend and bend and extend and bend. Beautiful. Place your hands to the back of your hips. Squeeze your elbows together. Now, one more thing. Draw the navel in. So what we want is to keep somewhat of activity in our core. And if you want to learn this, I have a whole 2 months course about core engagement. So we're practicing that in my inner circle all the time. Hands to the back of your hips. Imagine that the chicken head needs to be drawn into a long line, and then slowly lift up into standing. And now from here, keep your elbows to the side and very lightly come into a back bend. So we're pushing the hips forward and we're lifting our chest forward, upward. This should feel good. Oh, it opens the front body. That now energetically all it wants to do is to curl together and then slowly back to center. Beautiful. One more thing. Here we go. So we just learned the forward fold with our feet a little bit wider than shoulder widths apart. I would love for all of us to do this even wider. So widen your legs a tiny little bit longer. Again, bend the knees and slowly fold forward in your hips. Use your blocks or the ground, so wherever you are. But please do me a favor and make sure that your spine is not here. How do we make sure to do this? By tilting the sit bones up, by tilting the pelvis forward and lengthening the spine. Some of us will be just right up here, and that's wonderful. This is way better, knees bent, elongated back with a tilt in the hip, than this. Please don't do this. All right, so from here, very slowly, we are moving our body weight to the left side. Bend the left knee and bend the right knee. The feet are again grounded in the ground. And you will learn over the next weeks that the feet have 4 corners. The big toe mount, the small toe mount, and 2 points in the heel. And I want you to think that these 4 points are plugging into the ground. So slowly move from side to side, left and right. Wonderful. And we come back to center. Good. From here, keep the knees slightly bent, please. If you can, if you are an experienced yogi, of course you can go down, yeah? You make as much out of it as you can, but I will teach for everyone who is not as far yet. Okay, so from here, we're bending to the left side. Keep the right hand on the ground and lift up the left arm into a nice twist. And you will feel this in your inner thighs, in your hips, in your sacrum, and hopefully in your shoulder blade and thoracic spine. Notice what happens if I lift my head and look into my hand, up or down. Wonderful. And other side. So let's try this on the other side. Right knee bends, left hand onto the ground or your block, and the right arm lifts up. So start in a 90-degree angle where the arm is parallel. And now please don't just lift up the arm to the back. This is not the exercise. The exercise is a twist in the spine. And you might not be able to come as far, yeah, which is okay, but we're trying to refrain from bringing the shoulder back. Look how far I can bring my shoulder back if I just kind of like twist my shoulder a little bit. This is not it, yeah? Start with the arm parallel to the ground, and then keep the arm there and only move your spine. Beautiful. And again, head lifts and lowers. In and exhale. We're still breathing. And I will come more to this the longer we go. Right now, I really want you to focus on your body and the feeling that we receive in stretching and opening. Good. One more time, side to side, left and right. And if you like, you can create a movement that is a little bit like raking the sand in front of you. So you move to the right and you move to the left and allow the arms and the spine to follow the movement. Good. Because we're going to do one more last stretch. And then slowly come back to center. Extend both legs. Let me show you sideways so you can see it from here as well. All right. So in this position, see if we can move towards the left foot with our whole entire body. So turn towards the shin, knee, and ankle. Preferably, we're going down to the foot. If that's not available, if we are somewhere in the middle here, please allow your hands to just come onto your shin and move towards your shin and knee. Now, most of us, we will stand a little bit more on our heels. See if you can shift forward a little bit more into the balls of the feet. Good. And slowly transition through the center to the other side. I'm going to show you sideways this way. Good. Right leg. Extend, allow your spine to lengthen, and see if you can come as close as possible, wherever it allows you to go today. This is not about how far we come. This is about feeling the stretch in your inner thigh, in your back, all the way in your sacral area, in your spine, and a forward fold with a slight twist. Good. Again, if you're somewhere here on your shin, that's absolutely fine. Back to center. Good. We're bringing the feet back into our squatting position, Malasana. And come into a stand. Inhale. Lift up, reach up overhead. Oh, and slowly open the palms up to the side. Very, very good. All right, let's come to the ground and lay on our back, please. I hope you've gotten a little bit warm and you can feel the energy all through the body. I know I have. This has moved a lot of my spinal area, my hips, and the back part of the body as well as the front part. That's what we have been working on today. All right, let's lay on our back for just a moment. Have your knees bent and your feet flat on the ground. Allow your arms to completely release. And I would love for you to just move your legs from side to side. So the feet are as wide apart as the mat is wide. And then we allow the knees to go in a movement that we call the windshield wiper motion from side to side. Now you will notice that the outer leg externally rotates while the inner leg internally rotates in your hip socket. These are very important movements which we do not have a lot of in our daily movements. Yeah? So this is a very, very important part of our training because our hip joint is designed to do this, but we don't do it often during the day. Good. If you want a little bit more, extend the arms towards your ears, behind your head, and keep moving. And allow the spine to follow the movement. So I feel a beautiful deep stretch all the way in my side body as well. I exhale. Maybe you can hold for a moment on each side if that feels good. And then other side as well. Let's do this a few more times. This is a beautiful ending for a shorter session. So windshield wiper motion is always a great transitional movement. And then slowly bring the knees to the chest. Hold on with your hands around the knees and create a little circular motion. You will feel your sacrum, your back, the parts that are heavier on the ground, other direction, and the parts that are not as heavy, which might be the lumbar spine. Keep your hips completely relaxed. Now is not the time to engage your core anymore. Now we want to release. Beautiful. And then cross the left knee over the right knee. Cross it over. So knee on top of knee, just like we would sit on a chair. And then see if you can take with your left hand your right shin, and with your right hand your left shin. And slowly pull both knees closer to your chest. And as a result, we will have a nice stretch in our hip. Most of us will feel this predominantly on the left side of our hip, right up here, but it certainly has an effect on the right side as well. And with our breath flowing, we allow the body to sink into the ground more and more gradually. We are coming into the last part of our practice, where you will see energetically the energy changes from a little bit more energizing and activating to cooling down. It's called the cool down. I think it is very important to spend a couple of minutes before we go into Shavasana. And slowly open up the knees to the side. Take your hands to the inside of your knees and just let them dangle from side to side. And switch to the opposite leg. Right knee crosses over the left knee, knee over knee. If you have a bit more calf muscle or thigh muscles, you might want to take your hands and squeeze your legs around. Take the opposite shin, left hand around the around the right shin, right hand around the left shin, and slowly pull closer to you, your shins, ankles, and your knees. And as you see, I am always moving a bit, so there is a slight constant moving, because if I just hold, there's very quickly this notion of me tightening up, yeah? So try this out and feel the difference. If you're just pulling and holding, this energetically feels completely different than to go into the stretch a little bit deeper and then just back off a bit. And go into the stretch and back off. Our goal is the intention of all of these stretches that we're doing in yoga is to create a safe place for the nervous system so that it doesn't tense and tighten us up. And that's really an art, and I hope I can teach you some of it in the upcoming weeks. And maybe if you want to join my inner circle, I'm teaching all of these things there. And slowly release. Open up one more time. Just bend the knees, let the knees hang, and open up. Yeah. And rock from side to side. And then our last posture before we get into our relaxation. Bring the soles of the feet together and allow the back of the edge of your feet, the edges of your feet, all the way to release onto the ground. And open the knees in a way where they hang wherever your body allows them to hang. Have your arms alongside your body. Keep your eyes open for another moment. Allow the spine to release. So if it lifts up a little bit in your lumbar area, that's absolutely fine. Some of us will be flat on the ground. That's fine too. Very, very individual how everybody experiences this position. Place your hands onto your belly, the lower belly. And slowly from here, close your eyes and feel your breath in your belly. Just like we started our class, Breathe in through the nose and exhale through your lips. Breath by breath, we allow the body to sink a little bit deeper. I want you to feel the light, beautiful up and down, lifting, wave-like motion of your hands on your belly. And in this moment in time, while your hands are on your belly, all is well. Each breath is a present moment where we are well, where we are alive, where we feel that in this moment there's nothing that attacks us. There's nothing that can hurt us. We can lower our guard and take a moment of rest. Very slowly, I would love for you to bring the knees back up so that the feet are on the ground, and allow the knees to draw towards each other. So from the side, it will look like this, where my knees are slightly towards each other. Some of you will have a little bit more space than others, and that's absolutely fine. Allow the knees to internally rotate and hang towards each other. This should be a very relaxing posture on your back. It should feel like you are able to completely let go of any holding or any tension. Alternatively, you can extend your legs into the full version of Shavasana, our corpse pose at the end of each class. For some of us, this position is not always easy on our back and in our pelvis area. So if it feels better to keep the knees bent, drawing towards each other, please do that. Yeah? Otherwise, get into a full version of Shavasana. Keep your eyes closed. And we take these last moments of class to relax. In a time like right now, the energy around us is constantly creating something within us that none of us can willfully escape. We are in it, and because it is a global energy, we all feel this. Some people call it fear, some people call it anxiety. I really don't want to focus a lot on the words and the labels that we put on this energy. I think you all know what I'm talking about. What I do want us to focus on is that in this moment in time on your mat, you are safe, that we can breathe fully and wholly, that I hope when you practice this class, you are in a place where you can let your guard down. Because more than ever, we need to practice relaxation. And relaxing is not as easy as just sitting on the couch and watching Netflix movies. Relaxing is really a process where we allow some of the subconscious systems in our body, in our mind, and in our heart to recharge, recover, to get a break so that we can participate in life with more energy, with more groundedness, with hopefully a bit more calm that counteracts the external energy around us. So more than ever, we will need to learn to let go and relax. And while this sounds good on paper, I believe many of you have received wonderful articles that tell us to relax. I think if you really take this one moment right now in here and think, when am I ever relaxed? You might notice that there are very, very few situations, especially right now, that you are able to let go your guard, to release in a safe place, to retreat within yourself so that you can recharge and emerge with something that can sustain life in these uncertain times. So while you lay on your back, see if each exhalation can allow you to sink a little bit deeper. And you might feel that that's not possible today, or you might not be able to. You might feel that your mind is coming up with a lot of things. You might feel that while you hear my voice, that there is immediate judgment. We can practice that. This is a practice just like anything else. So inhale into your belly, feel the soft expansion. And with your exhale, without any form, without any alignment, without any input, just allow the body to sink a little bit deeper into your mat. Feel your head, the back of your skull sinking into the ground wherever it touches it. Feel your shoulders and shoulder blades getting heavier. Notice how that immediately makes the arms sink deeper as well. Feel your torso and which parts of your back are touching the ground, maybe the shoulder blades, maybe your sacrum. And notice the beautiful heaviness of that pelvic bone and the whole hip area that we have nicely worked on today. Feel how it sinks into the ground. There's nothing to hold. There's nothing to uphold for us. This is the time where you are allowed to completely let go. Give yourself permission while you're laying on your back, of course, and I hope you have joined into this and not just watching it. And from our hips, we are going into our legs. They make up the heaviest part of our body. There's a lot of weight, and how good does it feel to release that weight for a moment, to not have to hold it, to surrender, to give it to the ground, to Mother Earth that is holding us in this moment in time. This energy of us being held by the ground is a very soothing energy. And you might be able to feel this right now in this moment in time. With each breath, there is a new moment of aliveness. Yes, there is danger out there. Yes, there is a time to be diligent and smart and to make good choices. But we can only do this if we can show up with our best. And our best is when we have energy to stay calm, when we can do what needs to be done. In any given moment, we are called upon to act. When we are asked to make a choice, that we can connect to the place within us that will guide us to the right choice. Very often in yoga, this is called the higher self. More than ever, right now, we need to make choices that are guided by a collective higher self. I would love to end this relaxation with asking you to extend gratitude. The practice of gratitude is a beautiful tool in times like now, which helps us to change the energy within us. And in this atmosphere that we just have prepared, I want you to take one moment, a few breaths, where you think of sending gratitude out for something in your life that is good and well, that you know we can be deeply, deeply grateful for. And while I sit here, I have many things that I know I can be grateful for. And it's not hard at all to bring them into the forefront of my mind, to focus on them and say thank you. Thank you for this one day that I have been granted again. Thank you that I am here and healthy and that I can practice. Thank you that I have food and shelter. Thank you that I can hunker down and still connect with you, despite the fact that we can't see each other and be in one room together. Thank you to all the doctors, nurses, medical personnel that is called to do things that they would have never imagined they would have to do. Thank you for all the people who work tirelessly, in each one in their role, for showing up for us. And I thank you for being here today with me. I will show up for you every day at 12 o'clock to practice, to breathe, to hopefully learn something, to grow together and walk through this tunnel step by step, day by day, until we see the light again and we come to the end of this time. That certainly will come no matter how long it takes. So I want to invite you to deepen your breath a little bit wider, a little bit deeper. And bring your attention back into the room that you are in. Open your eyes for just a moment before you start moving. And then slowly awaken your body back to movement. Some of you yoginis who have been practicing for a while, you have your own little routine how to awaken. For everybody else, a good way to awaken the body is to stretch out the arms behind your head, to do a small version of windshield wiper motion very lightly, to move your fingers, to move your toes. Maybe bring your knees into your chest one more time. Maybe roll in a circular motion. And then slowly roll over to the right side. The right side is the side of the body where the heart can hang into the right side a little bit. When you are on that right side, there's not the full body weight on your heart, but it's actually hanging in the cavity of your rib cage. And that's the reason why we in yoga roll over to the right side. Yes, I know I'm on the right side, left side here, but I wanted to face you. So right now here, I'm actually bringing body weight onto my heart muscle. It's really not what I want. So normally it would be the right side. All right, so slowly from here, lift yourself up. And we come into our last seated position. Again, you can have your legs just bent, sit upright as good as you can. I don't want you to go in a lot of tension. For whoever can cross their legs, please do so. We bring our palms together to the center of our heart. And this position, this prayer position, as it's often called, is called Anjali Mudra. And I love to use it, especially at the end of the class, to connect the root of my thumbs to the center of my heart. And by touching this part, I remind myself that all the answers that I am looking for are already within me. There is no need to search outside. Everything that I need is provided. We humans have been miraculously constructed in a way where healing, light, and love is within us. It is that we need to connect to on the inside. And the difficult path to our inside is to keep ourselves clear from the muddiness, the clutter, and all the shiny objects that are around us on the outside. So the path to the inside, to those things that we are looking for, the calm in the midst of a storm, the grace in difficult situations, the strength to show up despite the fear, is within us, each one of us. And so I hope that this class and my teaching can nudge you, can touch you somewhere, and you walk away with one, maybe two, maybe three things that you can take with you into your day, into your week, into your yoga practice, and allow it to be a seed that can grow and flourish even in times of rain, wind, and storm. We will weather the storm together. I will be here, and I hope to see you.